In this video, I'm going to be explaining my view on the coronavirus, why this pandemic is here, and what the real pandemic really is, which is that of fear. And also getting a viewpoint from an epigenetic, also an American biologist, Bruce Lipton, one of the biggest inspirations in my life, and I truly believe that this is the power of how you can change your life when you perceive the pandemic in a different way. Welcome back to another video. I'm Maximilian. I help entrepreneurs reprogram their mind, rewire their life for happiness, success, abundance, fulfillment, and confidence. You name it, I do it. And I'm going to let you watch a bit of Bruce Lipton first, and just explaining how and why I view it in this type of way.
Yes, mortality is involved with coronavirus. Who? Almost all of them are people who are already compromised because their immune system has already been under attack previously. They have other problems before being exposed to the virus. There are aged people under nursing care. These people should be alarmed and prepared to deal with these issues. I say, what about the average people? I go, the average people, that's the range that goes, I didn't know I had it until I had respiratory distress. I go, well, that's a whole range. And I go, first thing is this, not to fear this. The respiratory distress is manageable. The largest portion of the population is not going to die, even though the news media threat is, they didn't come on and say, flu season, it's going to be aggressive this year, take care of yourself. No, they come on and say, aggressive flu is going to kill up to millions of people. And it's like, geez, as soon as I hear that, it's like, okay, it's not every regular year now. It's like, I could die, millions of people, that includes me. And the fear is becoming a problem. And they're pushing it as fear. In a fear response, the biology of the body changes to put energy into escaping the fear. That proverbial fear is the saber-toothed tiger that chases us. I go, what's relevant about it? I go, the body has two situations that it's like A or B. A or B, can't be in both. I say, what are the two situations? Biology can be in growth, or biology can be in protection. Fear of running away from either a saber-toothed tiger, or in this case, running away from a coronavirus. I don't care if it's a virus or the tiger. The fear causes a change in the body's function to support your protection mechanism. So the point is, either you're in growth or you're in protection. You can't be in both. Well, as we mentioned, fight or flight is the adrenal system mechanism for protection. Running away from the tiger or running away from that virus requires us to get in fight or flight. Like, so what does that mean? Well, if you're running away from a saber-toothed tiger, you want the energy of your body to be focused on what? Do you want your energy of the body to be focused on digesting food or fighting a bacterial infection? I go, hell no. If you're running away from a tiger, where do you want the energy? Arms and legs. Because if the blood, which is carrying energy, is in my arms and legs, I can use these muscles to escape. And once I escape, the protection mechanism is off and growth returns. I say, so what does this all of a sudden mean? The answer is this. A state of fear releases stress hormones such as cortisol. I go, yeah. I said the hormones go in the body. What do they do? Regulate the function of the body. So I say, so what regulation does a stress hormone do? Its function is to shut down anything in the body that's using energy that's not supporting the escape from the proverbial tiger. So I say, well, what does that mean? I say, well, the visceral functions of the body, the gut, what are these? The lungs and the digestive system and the filtering of the spleen and all these kinds of different functions. I say, what is the function of the viscera? Growth and maintenance of the body. It uses energy, of course, to grow and maintain the body. But if you're being chased by that proverbial fear, I don't think you want to put your energy into the growth of the body when you want the energy into your arms and legs. That's what you're going to use to run away from the threat. I go, fine. I say, how is this managed? I say, stress hormones, when released into the body, shut down the blood vessels in the gut, in the viscera. I say, why? simply because the function of the viscera is not necessary to run away from that tiger.
So as you can see, what Bruce Lipton is saying is, and this is coming from science, this is coming from someone who has studied it for years upon years upon years upon years. I'm not claiming to be this scientist, I'm claiming what I have found, what I have studied myself in my own time in order to find out what the real fear really is. Now, the fear is the pandemic. Don't get me wrong, there is a virus, and if you watch the video that is linked in here, which is that of Bruce Lipton's video, it's about 2 hours long worth of him talking, and he basically explains there is a virus. That's a fact. I'm not saying that there's not a virus, I'm not saying that it hasn't killed anyone, because it has. But what I am saying is this virus is being blown out of proportion in comparison to other things that are really going on in the world. So, in comparison, at today's present of filming this, there has been 645,000 deaths from coronavirus. Now, in total, there was something ridiculous like 13 million people received it. Now, if you actually look at the symptoms that come when you receive it, some people don't even get any symptoms. Some people are completely fine and it really doesn't affect them. But being 645,000 people are dying, my opinion, there's way more kids, up to 800,000 a year, that go missing due to sex trafficking. Now, in my opinion, that is more, not even opinion, in fact, that is more than the people that have already died from coronavirus. If you also tie into the fact that some of these people that are dying from coronavirus are people that already have respiratory problems, if you tie into the fact that there are people that are already having illnesses, they've already got issues, that this is just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. And although that is an awful thing to say, unfortunately that is what it is. Because when you really understand that the power of the coronavirus is going to affect someone, but it is just a flu. Just like Bruce Lipton says, it's a flu. It's just a more aggressive version of a flu because no one's had it before. Not many people have had it before. Now, back last year when I had the flu, it may have been coronavirus. I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days. I literally couldn't do anything. But I didn't think, I wasn't in that state of fear where they were telling you millions of people are gonna die. You could be one of those millions of people. They're keeping you in that fight or flight response. When you're in a fight or flight response, you are more susceptible to suggestion. Very similar with hypnosis. When I do hypnosis with people, I don't do it in a manipulative way because that's manipulation. I do it in a way that allows people to understand themselves. Whereas the news and the media that is run by 6 of the biggest corporations, I'm not going to go into that in this video, but it's run by people that are feeding news to everyone. If you watch all these different news channels, they are saying the story exactly line by line. I've seen many people put these videos up of Fox, CBN, all these American news channels, how they are all saying line for line the exact same thing. Now, like I said, coronavirus is out there. Coronavirus is real. The difference is how we perceive it. When someone coughed 2 years or before the coronavirus, people naturally would stand away from it. They wouldn't look at them like that and think, oh my god, you are the devil. They would stand away because it makes logical sense not to go near anyone who coughs, because they could have a virus regardless of what the virus is. But now when someone coughs, they look at you like you are a devil. It is frowned upon to now cough outside. And if you don't believe me, go outside, go to a supermarket, go stand outside and start coughing and watch what happens. People will naturally look at you because they have been told that that is the fear. That is the fear. You should be scared of this. You should be scared of coughing. Get yourself away. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Wear a mask. Now, don't get me wrong. Well, I am personally against masks for a couple of reasons. One being, if the coronavirus was so bad, why is it just a mask? When you paint a car, you have to wear a filtration mask. When you are clearing asbestos, you have to wear this filtration mask. You have to wear so much when you're doing with these things that are meant to be toxic that not many people probably die from spraying a car. Whereas they're telling you to wear a bit of paper like that, and that's going to save your life. Well, people may argue against it, which I have had people argue against me with it. Well, it's just stopping your droplets going out your mouth. Okay, well, don't go and cough everywhere. If you have got the illness, don't go out. That makes logical sense. So, like I said, it's there. It's a real thing. And I'm not trying to be positive about it and say, oh no, I'm not going to die from coronavirus because it's not a real thing. It is a real thing. The difference is how you perceive this to be. If you are naturally healthy and you're keeping yourself healthy, your immune system in your body is going to be able to fight it off. If you are saying you need to wear a mask, you're killing people, but then you go outside, you have a cigarette, you eat at McDonald's, you eat literally the worst stuff, then you drink fizzy drinks, and you're not eating healthy, that's more of a problem than someone that's eating healthy and not wearing a mask, 100% to you. Now, if someone's going around coughing, quite frankly, they're an idiot and they deserve to whatever they're going to get because they're just being ridiculous. I'm not the type of person that's going to go out and start coughing in public and start licking lampposts because that's a ridiculous thing to do. But if you can keep yourself in a state where you aren't fearful and you're not being manipulated by the media, because all they want to do is keep you in that fight or flight response, because when you are in a fight or flight response, like I said earlier, you are susceptible to their suggestion. You are susceptible to what they say. Millions of people are going to die. You are going to die. Oh my God, what should I do? What should I do? Like, you know what you're talking about. What should I do? And they go to those people that are the leaders and they listen to them. Now, this is following the crowd. If you are petrified of the coronavirus, you have been manipulated by the media. That's not a bad thing on your behalf. That just means you've been fed information. If I was always told the sky was was green when I came out when I was born, I would believe it was green. Do your own digging on what you have found. Do your own digging of things that come up. Now, naturally, just like Bruce Lipton said, people die in flu season anyway. The difference is that this type of strand of virus has just mutated, which has made it a bit worse than most other things. And like he said again, there's a range from not even feeling a symptom to which is the respiratory system issues. But if you look at all the media, the government even claimed that they made a wrong count on how many people died. So where it says 645,000, that is most likely a lie. Doctors have come out and said, nurses have come out and said that we have been told to put COVID on the death certificate, even though they weren't dying because of COVID. They were dying anyway. People are going to die. That is part of life. Unfortunately, that is part of life. You could say unfortunately, I would say fortunately, because it gives us a purpose to live today. But if you are constantly listening to the media, if you're constantly listening to the information they are feeding you, and you're not taking information from people who know what they're talking about, Dr. Bruce Lipton, I'm not saying I'm a genius in this, I'm saying I've taken advice from different people that I know, that I understand are top in their field. It's not the news, it's not a news reader that has been fed the information, because if you notice it as well, when people are talking about this COVID-19 situation, what's going on? All these things in Hollywood, all these things about sex trafficking, all these things about children being taken away, Pizzagate, all this kind of stuff. It's not even on the news because they don't want you to see it. The news will feed you what they want you to see. They want to keep you in that state of fight or flight. Stop listening to those that are telling you how you need to live your life. Start living your life how you should and want to live it. Don't be fooled by the news. The news is never going to save you. The news is there to inform you. And just like Denzel Washington said, if you watch the news, you are misinformed. If you don't watch the news, you are uninformed. So what do? You have to go and dig for yourself. Find these people that know what they're talking about. Find these people like Bruce Lipton who know at a genetic level, he studied epigenetics and biology, at a genetic level that we can change, we can heal our own bodies. We can use these different modalities of what people would maybe call the new age of thinking that have been going on for thousands of years in all these tribes in Peru, in the Amazon, all of these different tribes where they have been able to heal themselves because they don't even go anywhere near this. They don't even stay in that state of fear because they are not programmed to be in that fear. So use this video to maybe do your own digging. Use this video to bring up stats and statistics to understand that they have lied. If you type in onto Google a number between 1,000 and 10,000, you will see every time you type that in that a new number of cases have come up. Type in that number and then cases next to it. You will see what comes up. New cases of coronavirus, new cases of coronavirus. There can't be the same, on the same day there can't be two different cases of coronavirus. There's only one overall case of coronavirus. At the end of the day, the real fear, the real pandemic is fear. What you are put in. And just like he said, when you are in that state of fear, your body shuts down. It doesn't live in a state of love. It doesn't live in a state of survival. It doesn't live in a state of thrival. It lives in a state of survival. If a tiger's chasing you, get out of there. Use your legs, use your arms. If you've got a broken leg, and if you've ever been in a fight and you've really badly hurt yourself, or you've maybe hurt yourself on a bike, I'm used to fall off a motorbike all the time. I broke my shoulder before, but it didn't really hurt enough because my adrenaline was still pumping. I could still move my shoulder. When it got x-rayed, it hurt a bit. It just felt like someone had badly bruised my arm. When I got it x-rayed, they said it was broken. Then it started to sink in, and it was like, now it really does hurt because my adrenaline was gone. My cortisol levels were increased, which is the fear, the fight or flight response again. So just use this video to figure it out for yourself. And you don't have to dig for hours upon hours upon hours. You can find the right information where it is. Do the masks, you're breathing in more carbon dioxide. Are they really that bad for you? Probably not as bad as a lot of people are saying, and I do agree with that. But my opinion is, I am healthy. If you're not healthy, then do the right thing and get yourself healthy first. That makes sense. If you are saying all of this and then you're going out and eating the worst type of stuff, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're taking drugs, then that's the problem. The problem isn't the one thing that may kill you. Realistically, drugs can kill you. Diabetes can kill you. Food can kill you. So can coronavirus. But coronavirus isn't going to if you allow yourself to really stay healthy. You keep yourself in your optimal state of body, your optimal state of health. And how can you do that? This is from sleeping properly, this is from eating correctly, this is from staying hydrated, this is from exercising regularly, this is from meditation to clean your mind. You clean your body, but you've still got to clean your mind as well. Clean your whole consciousness. And this is where you can really start jumping into these altered states of consciousness that I've explained in different other videos. I'm not going to explain it in here because it's not the right video. But this is my view on coronavirus. At the end of the day, this is my conclusion. Coronavirus is there. It's not as bad in terms of what they are putting out it to be, because the government have admitted that they lied about the figures. They got them wrong. They know they got them wrong. So if they've lied about the figures, what else have they lied about to you? They've lied about one of the most important things that's ever gone on in the world right now. If you look at history, back in 1920, there was a pandemic, the Spanish flu. Back in 1820, there was a pandemic. History tends to repeat itself. Every 100 years or so, it tends to repeat itself. So what can we take away from this? Our body's going to naturally grow, but we've got to live in that state of love. We've got to live in that state of courage. If we're not living in that state of courage, watch what happens to your life. It will just spiral down. When you start to live in a state of love and courage, that's when you start to elevate your emotions and you start to heal yourself. Now, reading books like Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and a lot of what Joe Dispenza talks about, people have gone from complete genetic disorders. They've gone from being blind to then healing themselves. They've gone from not being able to walk to then walking. The power of the mind. The mind is the real, their control. If they can get in here, they can basically get you to do anything. So don't let them get in here. Strengthen this. Now, how do you strengthen this? My biggest recommendation is get yourself into a mind state that is powerful. Love, kindness, gratitude. Getting into those states of mind more often, every day. So we tend to always clean our teeth, but we never clean our mind. And that is one of the most important things. It's good to have nice teeth. It's good to look good. But if you don't feel good but you look good, there's going to be an issue. So we need to really figure out how we can really feel good within ourselves, how we can keep ourselves healthy, how we can keep ourselves clean. Because regardless, I think sanitation, we should be hygienic. We just should be hygienic. That's just part of life. We should be hygienic. We should be healthy. We should be happy. But we don't get our shoulds, we get our musts. So is being healthy a must for you? Is keeping yourself clean a must for you? And at the end of the day, all I want you to understand is don't let fear rule your life. Don't let fear of the media, fear of what is being said to control you. You have free will to a degree now, because there's people being controlled by all the news, all the media. So don't allow that to control you and start to live from your state of being, which is that of love, courage, joy, abundance, gratitude. But you will not get there if you're focusing on these negative states, if you're focusing on everything going badly. We've got to move into this vibrational frequency, that of love. So I hope you've learned something from this video. I hope you gained something from this video. If you have, like this video, subscribe, drop a comment if you've learned what you've learned, or if you have any questions at all. But I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity.